Hello, fellow digital scrapbookers. Tiffany Tillman here, back with another Q&A Wednesday, a video feature at simplytiffanystudios.com dedicated to answering your digital scrapbooking questions. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Subway art holds its own as a creative, graphic, and textual expression piece. And digital scrapbookers are all over it. We're designing it, using it on our pages and elements, including journaling cards. So I wasn't surprised one bit when the following question appeared in my inbox. Dear Tiffany, I'm all over the Subway art craze. Kits featuring the stacked text are usually the first I'll purchase. But while designer Subway art is impressive, I'd prefer to make my own using different fonts and words. Here's the thing, I've tried. My Subway art pieces never look as good as the pros. So do you have any tips you can share that will make for easier Subway art? Signed, Holly. I sure do, Holly. How can I not? I love Subway art too, and I love creating them. So in today's Q&A Wednesday, I'll show you my fancy schmancy tricks for building solid Subway art, from choosing text to working in the all-important contrast, and some additional hints for upgrading the look. Here we go. Okay, we'll begin by deconstructing Subway art. Subway art is a mishmash grouping of various, related, coordinated, or similar text that, above all, communicates a message. Some Subway text pieces are very simple, showing the same fonts and colors repeated line for line, while other Subway text is much more complex, where the color, size, font, or the arrangement of the text varies in some purposeful way. Let's break down this complexity even further to the most basic setup so you'll see how I see Subway art. Okay, if you really drill down Subway art, you'll find it's just a grouping of text blocks. And even more so, purposely arranged using rectangles or squares. At its most simple shape, we can create any setup of blocked boxes by simply rearranging and adjusting the size of the block. And once we substitute our blocks with text, we've essentially recreated Subway art. So Subway text art is simply a group of block text in relatively close proximity. And the first key to building impressive and clever Subway art is to set up a group of blocks in your editor and use them as a positioning base for arranging your text purposefully. Holly, did you know it was that simple? Well, now you do. So the foolproof way of building easy Subway art is to first determine a basic arrangement of blocks. Start with a group of symbol blocks using the rectangular marquee tool to create them in Photoshop or Photoshop Elements, and adjust them accordingly until you like what you see. Then toggle off the visibility of each block and substitute words or phrases either as simple text lines or text blocks. Select the Move tool and adjust the spacing between text using your arrow keys on your keyboard, and just fine-tune the positioning of each word or phrase. Remember, the blocks were just there to help us set up the words. With the words in place, we'll want to remove the extra space so the entire Subway text looks compact. So don't skip this step. What are some other variable characteristics of Subway art? Well, there's three: text size, font, and colors. Varying any of these three characteristics results in a more complex Subway art compilation. In general, I'll stick to 3 or less fonts, or font sizes, and or colors, because adding variation between the characteristics introduces complexity into the text art. So Holly, if you're struggling creating more advanced Subway art, perhaps work with just different sizes and fonts using a single color. Or apply multiple colors, keeping the font the same. Once you feel comfortable managing one or two characteristics, you can upgrade to more advanced looks by adjusting all three. Finally, I like to substitute dimensional embellishments or clip art in place of text. It's an easy way to upgrade the text and reinforce the concept of your page layout. Now, Holly, that's the A to your Q. Have a question you'd like answered on Simply Tiffany's Q&A Wednesday? Click on the Submit a Question link and send it to me. If your question is chosen, I'll send you a $10 gift certificate good at my store at Pixels & Company. And if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, come on, what are you waiting for? It's easy to keep up to date with new do-it-yourself or Q&A editions. And if you want more Simply Tiffany's free tips, tutorials, and discounts towards upcoming classes, sign up for my e-list. You won't want to miss a single piece of information I've got coming up, y'all. All right, girls, until next Wednesday's Q&A, happy scrapbooking.